Hey everybody, Kevin Shortell here. It is day 2 of the Note Expo event, and we're just on our lunch break, and I thought I'd update you on a couple of things that were covered today. And one of the things that I attended today was we had a panel, and it consisted of a lot of the different big note sellers in the country, companies that we've built relationships with over the years, and they sell quite a number of assets, which also gives them a very strong feel of what's going on in the marketplace. And I was very attentive in hearing that because, as you all know, I do a lot of the research for Note School as well, and we always try to stay on top of all of those things as well. So to summarize what this panel of experts in the industry were saying was, first of all, they're noticing, as we've noticed consistently, that in many areas of the country there are artificially low BPOs. Artificially low BPOs, because they have no choice when they're doing these BPOs as real estate agents but simply to use the data that they have, which consistently comes from the multiple listing service. So they're seeing these low BPOs, and of course that falls right into our model where we're talking about, hey Dwayne, where we're talking about this turnkey flip model, because it just consistently works on the turnkey flip when you start to see rents that are that high as compared to what they say the property is worth. So we have seen that consistent as well. Another thing that they talked about was the steady flow of inventory. So even though you'll notice if you look at some of the national charts that inventory levels are decreasing, that's a natural progression, of course. It's never going to stay where it was because, again, we are curing this big problem that was created. So we're still seeing on all levels steady inventory being sold by the big banks, being sold from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and all the normal sources that we have been talking about. In fact, HUD announced another sale just yesterday, according to DS News. We're also getting better prices. We're starting to see a trend of better prices in the judicial states. So that's an interesting trend that I hadn't noticed before. And of course, the reason for that is you're getting a discount because you will face the fact that there is going to be, I should say, a lengthier foreclosure process. So judicial inventory is grown a little bigger than the non-judicial states have, and that's causing a little price fluctuation on that. And quite frankly, there's great opportunities in judicial states, and I would never ignore those. If you've been to one of our trainings, for example, you'll know Florida is a judicial foreclosure state, but Florida also has a provision in the law that allows you to get an assignment of foreclosure. So what a lot of people look at as a 12-month foreclosure process in Florida can really be as short as a month when you get the assignment of foreclosure. So that was rather interesting. And one of the other takeaways from that is that some of the big companies that we're working with, they have noticed that we're seeing some commercial notes. And quite frankly, we expected to see commercial paper at least by the beginning of last year, and it just never materialized. And now they are starting to not only see those, but see those at very good prices, and also agricultural. So I'd expect to see some of those coming up on Notes Direct as well. So that was the panel that came up and talked about the inventory levels and everything else from the people who are in it every single day. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
You talking about opportunity? It's been a crazy morning here. I tell you, I'm still trying to wrap my head all around all these students I've been talking to today. I know you've been doing your thing.
Yeah, I've been inside mostly, and you've been sitting down.
I've been trying to get in class, and I have everybody pulling, myself and Ben and Kevin out of class, wanting to sit down and talk. You know, last day, I mean, it's a buzz. 600 plus people through this event, and it's been crazy. A lot of students are coming to me that have capital, dry money, as we always talk about, that's in the market. That where in the world do I put it? Where in the world do I put it? And after having second conversation with them, they're just fired up about the no. So listen, I've been a real estate. I've talked to people that have been real estate agents and investors for 6 months, and some for 30 years, and it just seemed that this was the switch that turned it on for them. They just feel like the note industry is where I need to be.
Yeah.
I'm tired of keeping this dry cash, and if I don't do something with it now, what am I going to do? And so,
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what's interesting, having you just said that. As you mentioned, I've been inside and listening to a lot of these panels and to a lot of the speakers that we have up there, and you've been sitting down one-on-one. What they're echoing back to you is exactly what they've seen inside, where they showed the statistics, they showed the numbers, and they said, look, here's the percentage of people sitting on dry cash, and here's the people who are looking to move into an alternative direction. And so obviously they're hearing that, it's resonating with them, which is great.
The best part about it is they're acting on it. I mean, we do class from week to week, and students don't always act on it.
Yep.
And I think the biggest thing is now they're able to see the value in what's out there,
Yeah.
the value in the training, and it's great that when people really have questions about, I'm seeing it come full circle, and what can I do? So
yeah, I've had just while I was setting this up, I've had 3 or 4 people going, all right, I got to start buying. I got to start buying now. They're always been kind of hesitant, and now it's nice to see that they've been pushed over. Let me finish one other thing here with you that I took away from that same panel.
That's fine. I just wanted to jump in.
Oh, no,
I got another appointment.
Okay.
And
right.
and I'll be back.
Sounds good.
Okay,
All right.
buddy.
See you. Okay, so one other takeaway. The panel was asked if what's the final thing you would advise somebody who's getting started in this space, and kind of an interesting question that Bob Repass proposed to them. And one of the panelists said that he would advise that you always run title. And totally agree with that. We always say in our 3-day trainings that there are 3 big potential deal killers, and one of them, of course, is title. We have to verify the title. We have to know what it is that can affect our position as a note owner. For sure, so liked hearing that. We use Pro Title for that. Pro Title was here. In fact, Pro Title was on the panel, did a great job. The next one said, be creative and track data. And this business is all about the creativity. It's all about multiple outs, as we talk about in class. It's one thing to acquire these assets, but you have to go in there knowing how you're getting out. And if you really want to get these big gains that you're seeing in all the case studies that we do, you have to learn how to be creative in doing that. The next one simply said, jump in. There's so many assets, there's so many opportunities, and really, by extension, what they meant on that was you could overanalyze these things to death. And that's going to simply push you back and back and back from ever getting involved into these tremendous opportunities, because at some point in time, there's always an entrepreneur's risk, right? It's like buying a stock. A lot of people will buy stock, but they never research the stock. They don't really have a handle on what the profits and losses for the company were. They don't really know who the CEOs and the board are. They don't really know the long-term track history of the company. They just heard a tip from somebody, and that's what they ended up doing. So there's always an entrepreneur's risk in these. Analyze these things the way we teach you, but at some point you got to pull the trigger, and that's kind of what Dwayne was just saying a couple minutes ago, that because of this event, a lot of people have reached that tipping point now, knowing they have to do that. The next person said, be active and stay engaged. And boy, I repeat that a lot at our training as well. The most successful people I've seen in this industry that have come through Note School, they stay engaged. They get on the webinars that we provide. They go to all the training platforms that we have. They use the spreadsheets that we create. They use everything that we do, including buying assets from our own Notes Direct. And the more you do that, the more you surround yourself with like-minded people, just like at this Expo, it's going to be much easier for you to overcome any kind of difficulties you might find in investing in these. And finally, the last one said, learn Excel, Excel spreadsheets, and create a model that you can use all the time. And again, fully agree with that. In fact, we show Excel at our trainings, but I always encourage people to take what they've learned there and then create a model for themselves that they can simply apply to. And I've seen a lot of different ways that they've done that. I have a number of students that will have a here's what we're buying it for, and it'll automatically play out 4 different scenarios, whether they have to foreclose or get a deed in lieu, or whether they do a modification. It's all there. And that's a great way to go through these things, so you have your own analytics involved that you can automate today with these programs, and it really will make this business a lot easier for you. and enable you to go through these deals a lot quicker. So Excel, you can learn that on Microsoft Office. There's a company called Lynda that LinkedIn bought, Lynda, that has a lot of online courses, and they even have videos built into Microsoft Excel. So I would absolutely heed that advice as well. So that's all I have for now, and I'll be back with another update after attending the next several breakout sessions. So thanks, everybody. Enjoy, and look forward to seeing you at an event soon.